Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, and welcome back to Civ 3. Alright, let's get this show on the road. We should be finishing our last Ancient Age wonder now. Now, I don't know that that will ever become useful. The Great Library only grants us technologies other civilizations have acquired. It'll grant us 2 free ones. I think we're way ahead of everyone else, so that may never come in handy. But it's still a great wonder that's worth having. Okay, so get a marketplace going in the main city. Let's see. Yeah, let's get one here too. Cutting down taxes on buildings and the doubling of what's the word I'm looking for? Luxury benefits. It doesn't really double luxury benefits, but the exponential growth from it, super helpful. Alright, there we go. Our warriors are all swordsmen now. Yeah, we definitely just need to get our cities properly advanced. We're about as far as we're going to get as far as expansion goes. Yeah, they've fully blocked off all of that. I could try to put some people on the coastline, but that'd just isolate cities out in the middle of nowhere, and it wouldn't really help me much, so I'm not going to do that. Alright, so the cultural value of the Mayans is sort of problematic for me. I don't trust them at all. And their cities have expanded and grown pretty quick, faster than I'm used to seeing the computer cities grow. Which makes me think he's doing something right, which is reason to be concerned. Yeah, down here you can change the style of how the upgrades look, but it always starts you off with the one that they think is most culturally appropriate for you. It just sort of expands your palace cosmetically. It's not actually important or helpful, but it does look pretty cool by the end. A lone jungle island. Decent food out there. Maybe I can get there before anyone else. Let's find out. Yeah, spearman. Get me a worker. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of value on the island, but you want to get as many cities as you can, even island ones. Okay, engineering. Yeah, so this one's important. This lets you bridge rivers. I don't deal with rivers a whole lot yet. No, I don't want to go to feudalism. Get a granary. The reason bridging a river is important, right here, even with the road, if I cross from this space to this space right now, it costs an entire turn, like a whole movement. With engineering, that acts as a regular square. There are some times where it's a super annoying rule because you start off in an area with lots of rivers. I know, complaining about having lots of rivers, it's sort of whining. But yeah, it can be super frustrating. And that particular technology is then vitally important. Okay, let's get a... Right, no, I don't want Sun Tzu's. Okay, and I don't want you building a pikeman either. Build a... You already have a barracks? Already have a barracks. Get a granary. Okay, so everywhere's got barracks now. 61, my goodness. I'm not sure I have that big a head start. Also not sure my scout's gonna make it through here. Let's give it a try. And yeah, let's make the attempt. Given enough time, you could do some crazy things. Okay, the galley will meet up over here. And since I now have the resources, man, we're gaining money fast. So money, it's got a couple of uses. Technically, you spend it on your troops. As you get more men, they cost more money. Depending on how many cities you have. The more cities you have, the more units you can support for free. Like they don't cost extra, but eventually you'll hit an upper limit, which is one of the benefits to having cities. But that only matters if you actually care about your gold. Gold is used to upgrade units like this. It's used to, I guess technically it's used to get more, well, or like happiness and science in your cities. You can put more money into funding those things and get more benefit out of them. But again, that only lowers your total that you gain per turn. Even if you're at negative 500 per turn, you never drop below 0. So you could keep putting it up further and further. And as long as you don't care about it, best of my knowledge, there's no real downside. At least I've had a couple civilizations where I was out of money and I couldn't rush anything, and my advisors keep bugging me about it, but it never seems to have any real vital consequences. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what all of its consequences are, if there are any more than just that. I've never seen any. But gold's uses are surprisingly pretty limited. It does work great as a bargaining chip. The computer is obsessed with gold. Okay, start pumping out galleys. I'm gonna need a lot of them. Alright, now everything is medieval infantry and pikemen. This is gonna make any sort of attack pretty much pointless. Because these guys have a 3 defense, which means a swordsman, if a swordsman attacks one, it's worse than a 1-to-1 because of the benefits that you get defending anywhere. It pretty much puts you ahead of all defensive values they could possibly throw at you. I fortified that guy? Weird. Since we're along a river, come on, we can fortify, or not fortify, irrigate from the river, which is a worker action. It's what this blue is that they've been setting up, and it grants an extra food a square instead of an extra mine a square. It can only be done from freshwater sources, so these rivers that are running around a couple places, you can irrigate off of them, and the computer loves irrigation. I do it to plains areas and deserts if I can get water to them, because you can also irrigate next to an irrigation. So you could pretty much lead it anywhere, as long as you have a clear area to it and enough workers to get the job done. I pretty much never use it on grasslands. I see no reason to. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, search out this area. Wow. 2 more settlers. Okay, javelin thrower. What are... Okay, you're there instead of an archer. Okay, and they're 2-2. That's pretty cool, actually. They're basically a defensive archer. Archers have are 2-1. And you get them from Warrior Code. They're the earliest real offensive-focused unit. They're not very good, but in the Ancient Age, it's about all you got if you don't have iron. or horses. Okay, got a galley. I want at least 5 or 6 of them. Right now we just need to focus on expanding with our city improvements, which can definitely take a while. More tropical islands. These are rough tropical islands, too. If I were going to park here, it'd probably be right there. That way I can properly benefit from the tropical fruit, despite its danger. I might eventually build workers who'd clear it. Okay. I should probably kick the Aztec guy out. Let's get monotheism. Cathedrals are basically temple 2. If you have a temple, you can build one. Produces 3 content faces, it's 3 culture a turn. It's pretty much just a new temple. Well, let's get chivalry too, so that when I get horses, I can automatically start building knights, which are 4/3, and they have 2 movement. Very powerful units, as strong as it gets for most of the Middle Ages. Okay. I usually build a courthouse in my capital, even though it is not strictly necessary. I forgot to deal with that disorder. And the reason I do is just because it's one of the improvements, but the palace pretty much assures that there is no propaganda, no corruption, and no waste. Which is most of the things that a courthouse focuses on. It makes it not really a priority. Frankly, I probably shouldn't. It does have a maintenance cost, it doesn't help, and it takes some turns to build, so I should probably just ignore it. Eventually we can build police stations, and those do similar... Oh, killing that guy. Police stations do similar things to... okay, yeah, I'm gonna kick him out. You have gone a little too far. Okay, that thing can make a couple settlers. Stop trying to get through the water. Get out. This is a 1-to-1, but barbarians have a massive handicap. Their units are just weaker by virtue of being barbarians. I really should, probably. I just... Yeah, everyone's building marketplaces. Straight up, that's what's happening right now. We at least want to get most of the marketplaces done. Once we start a war... Are you kidding me? You're trying to threaten me? You can't catch that guy. He's just gonna leave. Alright. You produce a settler. Oh! Sweet, we culturally overtook them. Install a new governor. That is the best case scenario. Now I don't have to go to war yet. Okay, get a temple set up immediately. Haha, I see. Well, you can't safely ride in a C-square, can you? Significant barriers till a discovery of astronomy. Yeah, I'm safe here. I have to go right through their territory to make it there. Okay, let's give it a shot. I'm not sure he will attempt to attack me at any point, and he'll have to have a galley in the way. If I run into one, because they could get me if they're 1 square away in the darkness. If they're not, I can outrun them. But he'd have to make the choice to... let's see. I'd like to propose a deal. Military alliance versus the Americans. Will you accept? Would you care to improve it? That's fair, actually. I'm asking you to go to war for me. How does 200 gold sound? Excellent. Alright, that should keep them tied up. The Mayans are going to be really, really mad at me for this, although it was their people that did it, not me. Okay, get our medieval infantry ready, and move them forward. This is a huge victory, though. Massive deal. I'm going to readjust how it's being run. Yeah, that one's just kind of sleeping there. There's no point in going out of my way to use this galley to sink enemy ships. I'm going to be pretty much unable to do so. They all have better numbers than I do. Or, I mean, not better numbers. They all have equal numbers to me. And I have precious cargo. If that thing gets sunk, I lose a settler, which is more production than almost any other unit I have available. Okay, this is a big deal. So now we have a secure source of horses and iron. Both of the resources we need. Once we get chivalry, I can start making real military units. Yep, there we are. Get a cathedral set up. Content faces and culture, still a big deal. Actually, you're not even growing right now. Not certain when you will. We won't worry about an aqueduct yet. Yeah, let's get a marketplace built. Let's put a mine on the gold. Mountains, you can mine them and they produce 2 shields, but there's no reason for your city to work them, unless they really have no other choice. Yeah, that puts up at 0 growth. That's probably where the last one will go. And the computer will attack your ships with reckless abandon if it gets a chance. It does not care. Okay, pikemen. Do I have an extra galley somewhere? I don't. I mean, I have my scout, who's over here. Yeah, and I kind of still need him to scout. Okay, you go here. That is not where I meant. I meant to park him on top. Yeah, when the computer gets uppity and thinks that its military is a match for yours, they'll start making demands. Well, even if they think that they're not a match for you, they'll make demands. Okay. Get out here. And they'll try to kill you if you don't meet those demands how they want you to. That's typical. But I don't really care. America here, they're reasonably large actually, but they're not too big. And yeah, these guys are about to start fighting each other. There we go. Well done. Swordsmen are more expensive than archers. Americans probably counter-struck with another swordsman. Courthouse, probably. No, honestly, you really don't need a courthouse. Yeah, get a Colosseum set up. Alright, I think I've successfully evaded most American ships around. And this guy's got an escort, so they need at least 2 ships to successfully win fights against against veteran ships in order to win. I'm really not that interested in this war. The Aztecs should keep them plenty busy till they get tired of fighting and sign a peace treaty. There's no way I'm bowing to demands from anyone at any point. If we go to war and I lose, then I lose, but I doubt it. Although you could definitely be on the receiving end of a lot of hurt. As long as I keep them from taking any cities, they haven't truly won. Yeah, let's just keep moving along their border. One of their units that's out here is probably going to get me at some point. Okay, invention. Yeah, let's get invention so I can get longbowmen if I need them. They have a 4 attack, so I really don't need them. But they also take no resources, so if you're desperate and you have a city in the middle of nowhere, they can use them. Colosseum. This place really doesn't get a lot of production value, does it? Yeah, it's only got a couple shields. Eventually you can get a structure called an offshore platform that adds an extra shield to every single water space, and that's pretty big. But buildings in the middle of the tundra usually don't have very much production. Yeah, that's pretty smart. These guys are both working mountains. Yes, they are. So I should probably come through here and put some mines along these mountains, because they're using them. Yeah, let's do it. It'll take a while. Mining mountains is a time-consuming business. Yeah, some American unit will probably run out and kill the scout, but I think he's done pretty good out here. He's got me a lot of good insight on what's there. Yeah, ordinarily... Does he get captured or killed? Pretty sure he gets killed. Colosseums. Dude, why are you exploring down here? I have a much better place that he can scout. Oh, come on, man, that city has just endless problems with this. Go up here, and then I'm going to set you to explore. There's real stuff to find out. We can meet new nations. Alright. Yeah, I don't even know who Pink is, but it's probably France. Alright, I knew I forgot to do something. First things first, let's set up a harbor. No one's going to culturally overtake you in the middle of the ocean, so I don't have to worry about a temple immediately. Wow, the Romans already got to that island. How'd they manage that? Oh, it's just... Yeah, 1, 2... They could sail right through. I could take them. I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to put a city here, and I'm going to culturally fight them off. Okay, get the Knights Templar. It's a minor wonder. I mean, it's technically a great wonder, but its effects are pretty minor. It pretty much just lets you get a free Templar Knight every couple of turns. Templar Knights are 1 movement, 5 attack, 3 defense, which is very, very strong. I think they're technically the actual strongest in terms of numbers unit in the Middle Ages. Ooh, that guy's going to attack us. There's no way he's making out of here alive, though. Whatever happens in the fight, I have another ship standing by to take him out. He's not. Alright, well, I have a couple of... Okay, go for democracy. Democracy is... Well, let's get music theory first. Democracy is a form of government that doubles worker production and shoots your economy through the roof. It's wildly important, and it's what we're going for. Okay, yeah, build Leonardo's workshop. That halves the price of all future unit upgrades, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I could very easily lose this, but I have 2 galleys that are prepared for war here, so I'm hoping one of them... Yeah, but that was predictable. Happens every time. Second galley. America doesn't really have time to keep producing more ships, so this is frustrating for them. cleared the way. Let's keep moving. Okay. So I should probably... These are producing 2 shields apiece. Man, you don't realize how productive forests are. But it looks like we're going to need more room. So I'm going to chop down a forest here. That way I have an extra grassland. Ah, we love the king celebration. Awesome. Celebrations are helpful. So countries might try to buddy-buddy with me, or they'll get really, really violent and aggressive with me, because I have 2 grand. And most of them don't have that much money, because they're terrible at managing it. Whoa-ho. What in the world are you doing? That guy is not capturing my worker if I have anything to say about it. Ooh, there's 2 whales here. Sick, I'm getting the productive spot. Okay, I could still work that space with him on it. Alright, well that should produce extra food, which will let us grow a little larger. Just a little bit. Oh, you can't put a city in the marsh? Are you kidding me? I didn't know that. That's frustrating. I would need to send settlers, or workers up here to clear it out, and that would take forever. Marshes take like 30, 40 turns, something like that, to clear. Alright, well I guess we're falling back then. I'm looking for a place that I could put one. Let's sail up here. Maybe I can still get something that really annoy the computer out of this. I'm gonna try to delve into the ocean and see what we can locate. Okay, we have theology, so that eliminates the oracle's usefulness. That makes it obsolete. The first wonder we've had, the first wonder we've actually had go obsolete. Okay, I thought I saw another coast up there. If I'd find another island to settle before the computer does, that'd be nice. They're very, very quick to gobble up islands if they find them. And if you have island cities that you need to take, then it's worth keeping a couple settlers around, because the computer's not very good at optimizing them. And generally, when you go to war and take the thing, it's only got 1 person, and then the city gets destroyed when you take it. You've got to go build a new one. It's real annoying. Okay, this is the Incan, or Incans. Why are you walking through my territory? Alright, so from theology, even though it did eliminate the usefulness of the oracle, I can now... Hold on a moment. Wow. I can now build a Sistine Chapel, which is basically the oracle, but for... go out here. But for cathedrals. we're in the middle of our expansion phase. Well, not really expansion, but growth. I'd really prefer not to have to go to war over some moron just tromping through my territory. But if that guy doesn't get out, I am going to start fighting. Okay, that American galley is probably not here for friendly reasons. Or it is. They could send some people to invade my mainland, too. That's one of the nice things about the Knights Templar. You get some free defensive units. Even at a 3 defense, they're still as good as all the defensive units that anyone has right now. Let's see. Yeah, you're not working any mountains. That's right, I don't want you to do that. You're not working any mountains. You're as grown as you're gonna get. Not sure why I specifically wanted a road on that mountain. Here, you can go over here and start mining behind. Okay, that's education. Now we can build universities, which are like a library times 2. You need a library to build one. It does nullify the usefulness of the Temple of Artemis, which we don't have, and the Great Library, which we do. But no one was having technologies ahead of us anyway. Music theory is an unnecessary one. All it grants is the ability to build the JS Box Cathedral. Unhappy citizens on the continent by 2 per city. So that's pretty handy. We built that on the mainland. Well, not on the mainland, on our mainland. And that's our core cities now. Happier, basically, forever. What are you people unhappy about? It's way too crowded. Oh. Yeah, he was kind of a jerk in how he set that up. I should get rid of that there so that they don't get too big right now. I don't have the capability of making everyone happy yet. Okay, so that's handy. Is the extra shield? No, the extra shield doesn't come from the river. I think the river grants an extra commerce. Two, and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I think it's worth chopping down the forests. Most of them have shield deposits under them, which are the little white things that give you better production. And so, you chop them down, you can usually still get a shield benefit as long as you throw a mine on it. And it gets you a little more food. It takes a long time. Generally, I don't bother with it too much. Okay, we will be getting the Sistine Chapel. I'm just going to need the right time to build it. And get a courthouse up. Yeah, you're experiencing more waste and corruption than pretty much anyone else in the Empire. Sorry, the Republic. The Republic that functions like a despotism. And the Incans are pretty big. I am glad that the Mayans got pushed back. I was not looking forward to having to go to war with them over that this early. Okay, that does put us on a food shortage, though, which isn't what I would like. Alright, you can move out and start growing more later. In the meantime, what do you work? Where do you get all this food? That'll do it. I'm going to clear out these forests so that I can properly mine them. Yeah, when you chop down a forest, it gives you a little burst of shields to the nearest city. Gives them like 10 or 15 or something. Not a huge deal, but it's a little benefit. If you want, now that I have engineering, or not if I wanted to, now that I have engineering, I could also put people on... Wow, that's just a barbarian on another little island. Romans are quick about that. Engineering lets you plant forests. So you can just plant forests and chop them back down over and over again. That way you can keep getting shields from them like that. I prefer not to. Well, you gotta manage a lot of things. Okay, I'll just say let's go for free artistry completely. Free artistry is a lot like music theory, just lets you build a wonder. This one's huge. So 8 unhappy citizens in this city are made content. You put that in your capital, pretty much it's almost permanent disorder removal. But it also acts as a hospital, which is an industrial age thing, but it's an early one. A city with it can grow beyond population 12, but you need a population of 7 or higher in order to build it. So it's got its requirements, but it's a great wonder. I love that thing. Okay, we have the cathedral now, the JS Box Cathedral. How much does this cost me? Yeah, just do it. We can get that done, and you could start building something else. Well, frankly, you too. I don't really need the universities at the moment. Our science is as good as it's gonna be. Getting a technology in 4 turns, that's as fast as you can ever get a technology. Barring things like wonders and whatnot, and trading for them. Okay, you build the Sistine Chapel, you build JS Box Cathedral, in 25 turns we'll have them both done. Wait, why would I send you to the mountain? Ooh. Oh, is this a tundra island? Because if so, I don't know why I'd be excited for it. I could plant forests throughout the tundra, but there's no real purpose to it. Yeah, they're 1 food, 2 gold, 1 shield. Eventually, you could build railroads, and that will double the output of a mine or irrigation on the square that the railroad is. So eventually, I wouldn't have to deal with forests, and I could still have all of these producing 1, 2, 2, just like a forest. So I'm not really going to worry about those. It's pretty pointless. Putting forests on them early game is the best way to get a tundra, but if you're going to do it, I recommend putting down the road first. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait forever. Okay, definitely explore around that thing. That's a new island, and it looks pretty big. Our cities are getting very large. Which, while normally considered a good thing, did you just... No, don't abandon your exploration of the island. Go back there. I need to see what's over there. That could eventually become a... Oh, printing press lets us trade communications. So now, I can trade, basically, contact with the Incans to the Mayans, if they haven't contacted them. So let me see here. Maya... I have communication with the Romans, the Incans, and the Iroquois. And he can offer me that in exchange. Inca and the Romans. Yeah, I'd say that's alright. It's not a whole bunch, but it's a little extra per turn. And they're going to get contact eventually. I might as well benefit from it right now. Aztecs. Man, the Aztecs are tiny. You have an extra ivory. I could use that. At least for now. That'd help me get ahead. You don't want to get too dependent on other civilizations' luxuries, because they will. Getting close to a deal. Yeah, your advisor will tell you if they're going to accept it or not. There we are. The computer will realize that you like their luxury, and it will keep on setting the price higher. Every 20 turns, you can renegotiate a trade agreement. The computer will take advantage of this, and they will start setting it higher and higher and higher. Trying to take everything that you have in exchange for the honor of having their luxury. Super annoying. Hate them for it. The ivory, however, has greatly benefited anyone with a marketplace, because I believe once you get 3... Let's see, what's over here? Okay, this is just a dead-end island. But it is an island. I'll probably put a city here and a city here. I think I could do that. Yeah, see, the marketplace makes this worth 2 happy faces. So that one alone, 2 happy faces everyone, which lets me put a lot of extra people to work. Yeah, no, you still need to work on those. A lot of times, though, there are unhappy people who are no longer unhappy, and you can put them now back to work. Alright. We're gonna build a city here. How are you coming along? I'm gonna hurry this the rest of the way. Because, yeah, see, they experience a ton of corruption. They're gonna be a slow city anyway. Without an offshore platform, they only get one shield. I didn't really put that thing there to be super productive. It's more just so the computer doesn't have another city on an island. Build a temple. Okay, I'm gonna rush that next turn. I don't want to rush it right now. Because if you rush something before it has any shields on it, like if I look at it, it's 240. And let me see what it is next turn, when just one of its 30 turns of production is finished. And you can see a massive jump. Now it's at 29, 116. So never rush things on the first turn. Always take one turn. And the Romans look like they're pretty small. Surprised they managed to get any cities. They've been boxed in by everyone. Them and the Aztecs, both. The Aztecs are not very large. I probably really screwed them over by signing them up to go to war with the Americans, who were just going to trounce them if they really decide to fight. Interesting, there's territory up there, too. The Egyptians are pretty big, as are the Incans. The Incans are huge. They are going to be a nightmare whenever we end up fighting. I can't see much of the Iroquois. And the Americans look to be about the size of the Mayans. I'm just glad we have a sizable force that's actually set up here on the mainland. Okay, we have banking. Bankings are kind of like Marketplace 2. Increases tax revenue produced in city by 50%. In addition, any marketplace, yeah, but you must have a marketplace to build it. These things, you start pumping these out in cities, and you start making bank. They're a huge difference. And since our technology production is so good, and other things, I can focus on other things now. That's exactly what I'm going to do, is start focusing on other things. Okay, let me take care of this. So I'm not going to build libraries as long as I've got other more important improvements. The Crusaders can facilitate any small-scale war that we may have to prosecute. So if anyone tries to invade us, I can use them. You on exploration duty? Alright, yeah, go here. Okay. Whatever we came across, it's Iroquois. Let's hurry that temple up. Yeah, see, this is why things like... Ah, awesome. Okay, get a bank going before we get something else that'll slow you down. Not a barracks. Get a worker. I'm gonna have to wait the full 5 turns because a worker consumes a population. And this is still a 1 population city. That'll speed it up. Interesting. This must be an island. Ooh. And they have an uprising on their hand. That's funny that he comes down here. I was going to attack him. Okay. Sun Tzu's finally finished. So now, if we ever take any cities here and they don't already have a barracks, one will be placed in them. That will make expansion much easier when we go to war. That right there is a barbarian encampment. They give you a little money if you take them, and dispersing the encampments prevents the barbarians from constantly making more barbarians. I think this is... No, this is part of the mainland, isn't it? It's just a peninsula that hasn't been explored much. America and the Aztecs have signed a peace treaty. Well, let's see if the morons like to propose a deal, peace treaty, just take it, let's go. Okay, no more war. The Americans are in the Middle Ages now. Which isn't my favorite thing in the world. Okay, let's start ferrying crusaders over. I should probably put a road here or here, that way I can just sail them over, drop them off, and they can get moving immediately. I'll have him do that once he's done dealing with this forest. I should have chopped it down before putting a road there, that would have saved much more time. Okay, you have one more turn. Actually, let's just hurry that up so they both happen at the same time. Sounds good. Happy with Republic for now. I am going to want to do something here. Okay. So I'll have them build a pikeman real quick. Okay, start roading. There's more ivory out there. I would love to set up some colonies so that I can grab things like that. It's just so far away. The closest source of ivory is here in the Aztec towns, and I'm going to be getting those eventually too. They also have furs and incense, two luxuries that I have. Securing two luxuries early on was a big deal. I am very happy about that. Unfortunately, this thing's culture has been keeping me from taking the rest of the furs from them. Okay. Now, touch and go 4 turns. Okay, we're in a state of extreme weakness right now because of the revolution. So let's try to keep things moving while we're here. I don't know what determines how fast you get things back under control. I've had it happen in 2 turns, but usually it takes almost 6, or somewhere in that area. Oof, those guys are gnarly. The Iroquois are very strong. I've never had a confrontation with them that was not bloody and drawn out. Those guys are... they're a true militaristic country. Okay, yeah, that is connected to the mainland. It's not an island. That might be. Democracy. Okay, that should be the last civilization change we ever have to undergo. It's a big deal, though. Workers all now produce at twice the speed. Okay. The Incans are big, but not as big as I thought. There's a huge bay in between those two peninsulas. Sweet. People are much happier now. More ivory. I think we have all the luxuries. I haven't seen dyes or wines. I think those are the only two luxuries I haven't seen. The Americans have gems. There's furs and ivory and incense all over the place, and I saw silks over here in Rome. There's plenty to go around. I just have to go take it. Okay, we've almost finished up with all of our city improvements. I think the last major city improvement that we get here is banks. The rest of it is wonders and regular upgrades. And we're going to be moving quickly. Like I said, I don't plan to move an age a turn. Things start getting kind of exponential once you hit late Middle Ages, early Industrial Ages. But if I make it all the way through the Middle Ages in this one episode, that'd be pretty good progress. I'm not trying to speed run it or anything like that, but I'm far from averse to more speed and expansion. Yeah, I don't think these people work the tundra spaces if they have anything to do about it. These guys are continuously growing, though, and they're running out of water to work. So I should probably start mining up some of these things around him, just so we can benefit from it. Oh, we can't expand again. He's at 12. 12 population's as high as you can go without a hospital, which is in the Industrial Age. Not sure. We might have pretty much bottomed out as far as square production on most of these. Oh, whoops. I don't know where I just told him to go. Okay, that's the one working. There we go. That should stop him. Okay, hurry up with that, pikeman. You're going to build a settler almost immediately and send him out. Just so I can dominate the entire island before anyone else gets in here. If I put one here, that should allow access to the fish, which will help with growth. Ah, they've managed to connect up, even if it is only the water. It'll take a couple turns, so I can get a 3 population, because settlers drain 2 from your population. Yeah, since he's wounded, while a normal unit can just, if he's wounded like that, can just park in any space and heal up for a turn, that guy needs a city to heal. Okay, let's get economics. Because economics lets us build a Smith's Trading Company. Pays maintenance costs for everything. All trade-based city improvements, which are the big ones. And it can also trigger Golden Age for us. Basically, this thing will bring up my economy, like money per turn, by 100 or 200 gold. It's a huge deal. It's already been 20 turns. Dang it. Now I'm going to have to adjust to this. People are going to start revolting if this happens. Or maybe not. I guess I was already kind of working them. So they shouldn't get too unhappy from that. Oh yeah, you can grow as you want now. You still need to expand, but it's not nearly as big a deal as it was. Yeah, the loss of ivory hurts. Okay, now I can start working on this city's improvements. No, actually, I probably can't. Okay, first, fix that. You're so far away, they're going to experience massive corruption. Let's get a courthouse built first. Yeah, another thing Crusaders can do is build a fortress on a territory. You unlock fortress building back in construction. Basically, yeah, you enjoy an extra 50% defensive bonus if you're on the fortress and you get attacked. Zone of control, right, that's basically you take a shot at someone as they walk by, and if you succeed, they take a point of damage. So you can do that. A barricade's an expansion to it. Crusaders are allowed to construct fortresses, and only fortresses. And so that is another thing they can do. But I never use fortresses because the enemies can take them from you and use them against you. Okay, hurry up with the university. I want you to start getting to work on the Shakespeare's Theater. Who would have thought that the Hittites were the scientific and cultural center of the world, right? Once we actually start mobilizing for war and producing rapidly, things are going to turn around. I need to get most of my basic city improvements done. Once I do, though, I mean, people are not going to really be able to stop us. Given how far ahead we are technologically, it pretty much allows us to produce things way faster than the rest of them, and because our economy is so good, while I'm using the best of units, they're stuck with lesser guys they haven't upgraded, and they're struggling with their unit population caps, basically, all over the place. Stupid Americans putting a city all the way up there. It means if I ever decide to wipe them out, I'm going to have to trudge all the way up there and take them, or get the Iroquois to do it, which I can probably do easier. Okay, when can you trade? Let me see. Okay, so that's a big one. This makes anyone able to travel by sea with no problem. That one connects ocean squares, and you can trade maps. So once we get navigation, that's a big deal too. I could get gunpowder, which allows saltpeter to be found. It's only in hills, mountains, and deserts. Mostly deserts. The chances of me having it in my very small type territories are pretty slim. It's probably going to be up here, and I'm going to have to go to war the second that I locate it. So I prefer to get the rest of my expansion done before I get to that point. Neither of those cities are going to have significant production, but as long as no one can actually get a large invasion force up to them, they should be alright. I just have to be careful who and when I go to war with. Build a Forbidden Palace. Okay, so that acts as a second palace. Basically, it drops down corruption, war weariness, and propaganda, if anyone attempts propaganda, which is an espionage thing you can do later in the game, and waste. But it kind of, you want to build it as far from your palace as possible, so that it spreads from there. It's a minor wonder that you can unlock once you have enough cities on the map, and I can never remember what the limit is, because it doesn't actually tell you. It tells you what you need for a large map, but it doesn't tell you the scale that it's measured by, so you can't really adjust that based on others. Okay, go to navigation. Smith's Trading Company. Big deal. And as you can see, even over here, our cities are starting to finish up with their improvements. Okay, so it looks like this is mainly the Iroquois spot, and they're not super big. The Incans are about as large. They're not quite as large as I thought they might be, but they're definitely, I think they're the biggest nation here, or at least with the most cities. And it looks like they have decently good ground to be on as well. I want him to explore here so I can tell if this is an island or not. Okay, we have the Box Cathedral. Get a bank going. I will have someone build a Smith's Trading Company, everyone, don't worry. If anyone's wondering why his letters or his numbers are in red, that means it's starvation. He's running out of food. Basically, it expanded further than it was capable of doing, and then someone had to be put on entertainment, which cut down the food production. So I'm going to lose a citizen here in a couple of turns once it runs out. Then he'll be stuck at 0 growth. Okay, let's take advantage of this. Okay, you are working that. Alright, well let's just throw up roads all over this place, all over the tundra. I've got workers who can do it real quickly, so I might as well. I think I'm going to try to get navigation, and then I'll probably end the episode. We've been going on a little while now. So we won't be finishing up the Middle Ages, but we'll be getting pretty close to the end. Navigation's about, well, there are other main science ones, you know, all the way chemistry, physics, and theory of gravity, but these three and this one are mainly about military stuff, which, surprisingly, most of the Middle Ages isn't. This, invention to an extent, that's not really about military, it's a side thing, but feudalism, chivalry, gunpowder, metallurgy, military tradition, and magnetism. These are military-based. Everything else is culture and science, pretty much. And economy. There's a little economy. Economic technologies aren't super common. There's a couple of them. Okay, get a library, then a university, and that place will be good to go. Right now, the best square he's got is a forest, which isn't super helpful because he also doesn't have a courthouse. Speaking of. Okay, now we can build Copernicus Observatory, which doubles scientific output in the city that it's built. I'm not going to worry too much about the main specifics of that. Okay, that gives us one more shield. Yeah, that's how bad the corruption and waste is this far from home. Yeah, don't ever bother trying to irrigate the tundra. You cannot. It is unirrigatable, unfortunately. Which leads to all kinds of problems. Okay, let's road up these forests. That's a different ship. Okay, that is connected by land right there. Yeah, grab you. We're sinking that thing. Keeps them from expanding any further. There was something that just happened somewhere. Right. Crusaders. Oh, and we have caravels now. I can upgrade my galleys. The few that I have. Right, I forgot I had him. My scientific leader. I can get him when the moment really calls for it. I'll probably put Copernicus Observatory here. That one and Newton's University. They both do that, double scientific research. And double scientific research. They can also become tourist attractions later. They're pretty handy. But they're not like, big deal, I'm really focused on them kind of wonders. I just get them because they are there. Wow, 16 turns. Man, this city is awesome. Yeah, build that thing. 16 turn, that's probably better than anywhere else can get it. There you go. Caraval. I think that's 1, 2, 5, and I believe they can carry 3 people instead of 2. So it's a minor upgrade. We'll be getting galleons shortly. we are. Yep, that is a connection. I figured it probably was, but, you know, better safe than sorry. So the computers are mostly annoyed, near as I can tell, because they have terrible economies, so they're always low on money. And that really bothers them. I'm actually going to pull all of you guys back. I think you two are my only explorers. You go here. That's a harbor there, so I can at least get them to caravels. Which means, should anyone attempt to kill them, they'll be much more prepared to defend themselves. Do I only have the 3 galleys? Let me check. Military advisor by unit. Yeah, only have 3 ships. But I had 1 more somewhere. Can you stop sailing through the middle of my land? Right, someone else is building Copernicus Observatory. Yeah, build knights. I'm gonna need them. Okay, so navigation, this will get us Magellan's Voyage. Yeah, alright. Jump over to Theory of Gravity, we'll have to go through gunpowder, so we're getting on that one now. Okay, let's just grab a library for now. Yeah, get your own harbor. There we are. Now we've got the whole island covered. Okay, can I kick you out? No. Because apparently it's too weak to be kicked out. So that gets me Magellan's Voyage in 10 turns. I have to zoom to see how much the Wonder will take. 24 on Smiths. It'll take forever there. Okay. I think I should just do it. Yeah, switch that over. Magellan's Voyage gives us an extra movement at sea. It can also trigger the Golden Age thing, but basically just movement rate of all naval units is increased by 1. It's a lot like the Great Lighthouse, except the Great Lighthouse goes obsolete right here. So if we get Magellan's Voyage, we can retain that benefit. And as long as we have both, and they're still operating, then we have 2 extra movement instead of 1. This here nullifies, yeah, the Great Wall, the Great Statue of Zeus. I don't have either of those, so I don't really have to worry about that obsolescence. I don't have the Hanging Gardens, but I will lose the Knights Templar there, and then the Colossus there. And I think that's it for obsolescence. Yeah, everything else is where it's supposed to be. Okay, well, let's finish setting a few orders here. Oh, right. We can sail through the ocean now, because we just got our major upgrade. Okay, so now we're on the track to gunpowder. We're really rich. We're scientifically booming. Our cities are massively just producing and improving themselves. This one here and this one here are both about, like, they're just like 2 improvements away from having all of their improvements, and then they can start mass producing either workers or knights. I'll probably have one work on workers a bit, the other one work on knights. My goal is to get them to expand rapidly. Or to get my military expanded rapidly so that I can start waging war on the Incans. I'm going to have to start somewhere. And even though I can't wipe them out, because they have like a city all the way up here, and I think there's one over here somewhere, I can definitely smack their empire down. If I can absorb them into my own territory, that will give me pretty much a nation much larger than anyone else, and I can use that to facilitate a war against the Aztecs, who are pretty small. I can seize their ivory. They probably are going to have saltpeter in here if I don't have it already, and I'll need to take it from them too, because saltpeter is important early on. It becomes obsolete later. It's the only resource that does. But, well, horses do kind of. But we need it now, so I can't afford to wait about forever. The other nations I'll think twice before just straight up attacking. They're a little big, but yeah, the Mayans, they're definitely shaping up to be a handful, from what I can tell. Yeah, they still have the most culture. I think they got like 2 wonders in or something before me. Power, I am more powerful than anyone despite having almost no military, like, offensive units. Yeah, America, Egypt, the Incans, and the Hittites. The Iroquois are pretty small, but I think that's just because of their number of cities. The few units they do have are going to fight like dogs. Alright, well, next turn we're going to phase out our galleys, get caravals. We're going to keep producing all these wonders. There's a lot of them in the Middle Ages, so you just got to build them as you get them, because they are important. And this will... The wonders will exponentially increase a lot of things. Getting Newton's University and Copernicus lighthouse, or observatory, will pretty much guarantee me a tech every 4 turns for the next dozen techs, even into the Industrial Age. It makes a massive difference. And when you get to the Industrial Age, pretty much everything is good stuff. Like in the Middle Ages, I have usually a set path. We get some of these early ones. Then I go to Democracy, because these ones are helpful, but they're not a huge deal, generally. But I mean, you get railroads here. Electricity gives you free irrigation everywhere that you can normally irrigate. You don't need access to fresh water. It's just there. This lets you get hospitals, so your cities can just start growing. Scientific method gives you the theory of evolution that erroneously gets you 2 civilization advances, period, once you build it. You just gain 2 more technologies. Replaceable parts gets you infantry, which are the best defensive unit for quite a while. I mean, 10 is huge. And it also lets you find rubber, and it doubles all of your worker work speeds, basically. Corporation is all about money. Industrialization gets you factories. Espionage gets you, well, espionage and communism. Unlocks police departments for some reason. Nationalism's a big deal. Is where you get riflemen, and refining is oil, which lets you then start figuring out where these 2 main resources, oil and coal from here, and rubber from here, are going to be. Like, yeah, everything here is good, basically, except fascism. Fascism and ironclads are both kind of useless, but everything else, for the first, like, half of it, big deal. And so, getting good scientific growth right now, very important. I'm hoping, given the number of forests, mountains, and hills that I do have under my territory, we'll get at least 1 source of coal. If we don't, and we haven't gone to war with people yet, I need to move immediately to seize it, because coal is as big a deal as any resource gets. I think it is the most important resource, and you want it. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this one then. So I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.